This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. A participant in nearly 700 PGA Tour events. 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and this Sunday we're coming to you from Norwood Hills Country Club, and this is the site of this year's Ascension Charity Classic. Our guest coming up will be Brandon Smith, the Director of Golf at Norwood Hills, and much of the focus of this show will be a look at the Ascension Charity Classic. But first and foremost, with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jay, great to be with you.
Danny, thanks so much for being with me, and I'm so excited to be up here at Norwood. I'm actually sitting in a room that I haven't been in very often. Last time I was in this room, you had this all set up for an interview with Nick Ragone, and I think Ernie Els?
It was Ernie Els, yep. Nick Ragone, to talk about the tournament.
Well, yeah, I think the inaugural when it was getting ready. Yeah, so really excited. Brandon Smith has been a golf lineage. His dad, Big Mike, is someone that we all know and love and has been involved in the game of golf for how many years? 50, 40?
Back when I was a kid, I worked with Big Mike at
Tower T. I know, and now Big Mike's running the caddy program at Old Warson, and he's got his son. Is just a great guy. It's going to be good to sit down with Brandon, and it's just nice when these families that have loved the game and have grown the game and given so much to the game get some recognition. They need that.
So I want to focus a little bit in this segment on Norwood Hills Country Club. And for golf fans that don't know, this is one of the great stories, I think, in local sports. It's Jay Delsing, who grew up as a caddy, working at this place, toting bags, and now you're going to play in a PGA sanctioned event at Norwood Hills. It's a great story.
It's great. Well, thank you.
And you're from North County.
I know. It's something that, Danny, I never thought would ever happen. I mean, when Steve Spratt and Nick Ragone said, we're bringing a Champions Tour event here at Norwood, I'm like, tell me that's going to happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just amazing. And this North County area, as we know, we talk about it all the time because we love St. Louis. It really needs help. It's getting it. It's really getting help. There's leadership that's growing out of here. I know that Brian Williams does just a phenomenal job up in North County and helps out a great deal. And then to have this sort of money being raised year after year, Danny, hopefully we can really make a difference and love the charities associated, Boys and Girls Club, the Urban League, and Marygrove. Great, worthy benefactors.
The man that runs the Ascension Charity Classic, it's Nick Ragone.
Having an event like this, you understand up close what grows the game of golf is community engagement. It's not just seeing the elite pros on TV playing for a lot of money. That's actually the easy part. The more important part is bringing a live event, having the community rally around it, raising money to support and do good for charities, and then growing that and making it more diverse and inclusive. You know, one of the things we did last year is we added a second event, the APGA Classic, which is the Advocates Professional Golf Association, a wonderful tour. It's been around for 10 years. It's committed to making golf more diverse and inclusive at the elite ranks. And now it has a partnership with the PGA Tour. It's actually, over time, I think it'll become a feeder for the Korn Ferry Tour. But the point is, to grow the game of golf, you need community engagement and you need to give back. And that's kind of the core of it. And I think the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour Champions business model is the best in professional sports because it allows you to put on great sport, great entertainment, but it allows you to engage companies in a much deeper, more meaningful way because they understand the dollars that they use for pro-ams or hospitality, ticket sales, sponsorships really goes back to supporting charities they already care about and support in the community. And for us to do it in an area of the St. Louis that is underserved and underinvested makes it even more special.
One of the things that Nick has talked about is not only making a difference in North County, not only making a difference with the Ascension Charity Classic, but the APGA. And I know you love this idea and what it brought to golf and certainly golf here in St. Louis.
Absolutely phenomenal, Danny. It's going to be this year. It's not going to be tournament week. It's going to be the second week of August. I'm going to MC something over there. We're going to have a junior clinic on August 9th. But this is about trying to get more African Americans, more underserved people involved in the game, regardless of what color you are. Let's get you involved in the game. Let's get you understanding what it offers. we have Christian Evans, who's just a great young man from East St. Louis, a hell of a good golfer that's playing on that APGA tour all the time, and I would love it if he won the championship this year.
We're coming to you from Norwood Hills Country Club, Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Doherty Business Solutions. One of the things that you had the chance to do, you hit the inaugural tee shot that was by design. You were paired up with former college teammates. I see you're getting goosebumps right now, and you get a little emotional. Not a little, you get a lot emotional about that first tee shot.
I've never experienced anything like that before, Danny. In front of my family, in front of my friends, I look at Nick Rago, and I can't even make eye contact with him. I'm like, how in the hell am I going to hit this ball? When they announced me, and I'm trying to get the ball to stay on the tee, Danny, I was shaking like I'd had too much caffeine, man. I was like, holy smokes, what am I going to do? And I just said, I took a big, deep breath and kind of half a practice swing, and I'm like, just hit it somewhere.
Right.
Just get it going forward, And somehow it went right down the middle, and I was glad that first tee shot's always tricky, right? All of first tee shots of events are tricky, but when it means so much and there's so many friends and loved ones around, man, it's tough.
I was thinking, and literally, you probably hit at least 1,000 tee shots where you were situated with being back in the tips because you're a PGA pro for nearly 30 years. So, I mean, you think about all the times you played from the tips, and specifically here at Norwood, and then to have it on the line really means something. That's emotional.
It is. Well, and it just, all of that can whack you mentally.
Yes.
Because you're like, wait, and then you try to get back to going, wait a minute. This is Norwood still. I know this hole. I know this tee shot. But the circumstances, the stuff that runs through your body, Danny, it's one of the things I love about being able to play professional golf, to play when you're crazy nervous and all, as an athlete, and to have that adrenaline run through your body. It's a good thing as long as you can manage it. And that first tee, man, I was glad that thing was over.
How nervous were you? Because you've told me you had a putt at one point, I don't know, it was 5 or 8 feet, and that was to get your tour card, which then meant hundreds of thousands of dollars with sponsors and getting into things and whatnot. But how nervous were you on just that first tee shot?
Way more.
Really? I was wondering
Danny,
that.
it takes it all. I mean, I sat there and, it's almost like, how you hear you say you have your life passing for, there's all of these memories come rushing back. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, you got to hit this shot, because it'd be great if you're just going to sit back in a chair and reminisce, but you're out trying to play, and especially playing with Corey and Steve, Corey Pavin and Steve Pate, I wanted to beat their ass, man. I just wanted to take them down. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I can't wait for this year's event. I didn't play last year, and to get to play this year again, it means a ton, and I'm just super excited for it.
Do you remember the first time as a kid that you were out here? And if so, how old were you when you started doing the various roles, and what were those roles? So how old were you, and what were the various roles that you had out here?
Well, I started off as a caddy. My dad used to work for the St. Louis Review, and he'd go to work and drop me off in the mornings, and I'd stay. So it was probably between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and I was 12 or 13 years old, and
Wow.
I started, caddying. This was back in the day, Danny. They probably had 30 or 40 caddies here every day. They weren't children.
Yes.
They were a bunch of grown men, and so I remember sitting in the caddy room thinking, heard a lot, learned a lot. I've copied a lot of those words that I learned back then. I use them a lot in my life today. But there's card games going on. There's, you throw yourself into the caddy yard back in the day, and it's an eye-opening experience. So I sat there and waited to get out, and I didn't know anybody. It was a little intimidating, but I was here with a purpose, and no one else knew that.
Did you know that back then?
Oh yeah,
and the purpose was to get better and better and better and win and see where it takes you.
Yeah, trying to get better. I needed a way to get a scholarship for college if I was going to go, because it wasn't going to be put on my parents and they couldn't afford it. So that and
that's pressure in itself.
The game, but you know what? When you're dumb like I am, you just don't even realize it. You just sit there and thinking, more golf. I mean, you and I are playing a ton of golf now. Danny, I played 36 holes almost every single day. It's just walking, carrying my clubs, just up and down the hills and finding those hooks, finding those slices. And somehow or another, and being a parent, you can relate to this. I like that. Normal kids, don't like that.
That's right.
They're like,
Especially today.
This is too much. I don't want to walk. Can I ride a cart? We never, we couldn't take any carts.
You're out there just hoofing it and going to play.
Hoofing it and going to play. And then, some of the guys up here made it a little difficult at the beginning, and they were like, you need to sweep the parking lot. I'm like, which broom you want me to use?
Sure.
Then you got to clean the bathrooms? No problem. Which ones? Once I got a little taste of this, it was almost just like it was meant to be for me. I got so lucky. Things could have gone so many different ways, but Norwood will always be such a major part of my life.
Brandon Smith coming up, the director of golf at Norwood Hills. So we'll get into the course a little bit, what's happening here at Norwood. They'll play on the west. There's 36 holes here, but what was the reaction of players that played at the Ascension Charity Classic about this course specifically, the West at Norwood Hills?
Well, first of all, Danny, believe it or not, they raved about the old Spanish-style clubhouse. We're sitting in it right now. But
we talked to Lee Trevino about that.
Lee Trevino said, whatever they did, man, you guys really need to be grateful for that guy. But they talked about that. They're like, man, that's odd. Here in St. Louis, they're expecting, not this kind of architecture. So the clubhouse is over 100 years old. What they love about the golf course is similar about the clubhouse, Danny. Old school. It's right in front of you. You walk from one green, the next tee is right around the corner. It's not like a real estate, project where you got to get in a cart and be shuttled from, the first green to the second tee because it's a half a mile walk like some of the major courses that are being built these days. So it's old school. The greens are really tricky here. They're beautiful. They're smooth as can be. They're fast as can be, but they're very tricky. They're slopey, and that's the thing that holds the scores down. I even had VJ sing, and VJ doesn't compliment people much, and he said, I know you had a lot to do with this tournament. And I said, I really didn't. I'm glad to be involved, but it's really Steve Spratt and Nick Ragone. And he said, nope, I know you had to. And I love the golf course. It's my favorite course that we play all year. And
really?
Yeah, it's right in front of you. And look at, Danny, the scores are not low.
No.
I mean, 10 under par. Padraig Harrington wins at 10 under par, and same for David Toms right around there the first year. So it also speaks to we have major champions winning here, and I think that says a lot about this golf course.
On the Range is brought to you by the Gateway section of the PGA and Family Golf and Learning Center in Kirkwood. This edition of Golf with Jay Delsing, we're focusing on Norwood Hills Country Club and the Ascension Charity Classic. And that is only about 40 days away, 45 days away or so. Let's tip our cap. And I know you want to focus on Norwood Hills and what's coming up with the Ascension Charity Classic.
Absolutely. I'm tipping my cap to Norwood Hills and the Ascension Charity Classic and the North County area, Danny. This whole thing is a package deal. Nick and Steve were gracious enough to bring this tournament and all this money to our area, and they said it has to stay in North County, and so Norwood Hills is the perfect venue to host this thing. Then we've got guys like Brandon Smith coming on the show, works his butt off in the world of golf to grow the game, and also the week of the Ascension Charity Classic, his hair's on fire. If he had any hair, his hair's on fire. So we love our buddy Brandon Smith, and we are tipping our cap to those guys. The tip of the cap is brought to you by Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood and my buddy Colin Burnt. You can reach him at 314-966-0303. Colin is a great guy. Colin, thanks for sponsoring the tip of the cap segment. Danny, first week of September, St. Louis will literally be the center of the golf world because there's no other events going on. There's no PGA Tour event going on that week.
Pretty big. We're going to talk about the top players that are coming to St. Louis later in the show. Also, there's news with Tiger Woods and the Champions Tour. We'll talk about that. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Coming up, Brandon Smith, the director of golf at Norwood Hills Country Club.
That was On the Range with Jay Delsing. For news on the latest golf equipment, tips, and to ask Jay a question, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. Coming up, it's the Front Nine on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Darty Business Solutions, the title sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show, has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We also roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year before graduating from high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year as a high school senior. That's when they begin training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes talent is equally distributed, but access to the opportunity is not. So here is Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. That's Daugherty Business Solutions, changing our community for the better.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our performance center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
This is Dan McLaughlin, inviting you to the 21st Annual Dan McLaughlin Golf Tournament to benefit the Special Education Foundation. This tournament has raised over $5 million, and 100% of the money raised has gone to children with special needs in our community. To sponsor, volunteer, or to play in the event on October 9th at Norwood Hills Country Club, please visit sef-stl.org. I'll see you on October 9th at Norwood Hills Country Club.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. And the reason we have them is because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and very easy. Their customer service is second to none. They provided my daughter with a loaner car when her Passat needed repairs. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester and Kirkwood, you'll become a customer for life because they'll treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is the Front Nine on Golf with Jay Delsing. The Front Nine is presented by the Ascension Charity Classic, September 5th through the 10th at Norwood Hills Country Club. Find out more at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and we are originating from Norwood Hills Country Club, which will be the site for the Ascension Charity Classic. And our guest, really looking forward to this, Brandon Smith, the Director of Golf at Norwood Hills. And Brandon, thanks for joining us. Great to see you. Should be a lot of fun to visit.
Dan, thanks for having me. Jay, always a pleasure.
Smitty, we are so delighted to have you not only on the show, but to have you here at Norwood with us. You're in your second year. It's a lot of work, man. I see you running around every day doing things, but man, it's a great get for we members here at Norwood.
Got a really good team around me. Really excited to be here, and I tell you what, I couldn't do it without the guys around me. Bobby Pavlonis, Jody Armstrong, Matt Dillman, Tyler Wiegert, Kyle Shahowski just came on. Great crew, and yeah, we're really excited.
Tell us about the average day for a director of golf here at Norwood Hills, because you have 2 18s, you stay busy. So what's the average day like for Brandon Smith?
Well, in the summertime,
You're a little busy.
They're long days. But you know what? We knew that going into it, and again, we're showing up at dawn, and the last guy to leaving at dusk. So
Wow, dawn to dusk. And how many months is that, you think? Or is it just when the weather turns warm and then when the weather turns cold?
when the weather turns, we're ready to go.
Some of the things that you brought to the table for us out here just stands out is the outside staff. The outside staff and the kids, and it's a mixture between some young guys, some older fellows. But I think, Brandon, it's such a critical piece to a golf operation because it's really the first point of contact. Whether you're a member or whether you're a guest, you pull up your car, you got one of these guys greeting you, and you've done a great job because that sort of culture that you brought, it permeates all the way down, and it has to start at the top with you.
Absolutely. We got a great crew, and when a member or guest pulls up, their first expectation is met right there at the bag drop, and we got to knock that out. So the crew does a great job of that, and I'm so proud of them.
Brandon, let's talk a little bit about the courses. So the East, the West, and the membership here at Norwood Hills Country Club. So that's got to be awfully challenging for you to make sure that you get everybody out, everybody happy. But with 2 18s, it's certainly got to help.
The East course, probably our secondary course compared to the West being the championship, but both receive a lot of play. And honestly, the East course could be more challenging.
I think I've mentioned this to you before, Brandon, you can concur. The scores are similar, and the par on the East is 69, the par on the West is 71, and the East holds its own every single time.
Both courses are fantastic. Mike Knoll and his staff does such a great job. 36 greens, and they all roll great. Yeah, they're second to none.
Brandon, I tell people all the time, the best golf experience and the best golf value in St. Louis is at Norwood. And they look at me, I'm like, I'm telling you, you'll always have a place to play with 36 holes. You got a phenomenal, outstanding staff with what you brought with you over here. And then you have the golf course and the condition that it's in. Mike Knoll, in my opinion, is a top 5 superintendent in the country.
Absolutely, Jim.
He's unbelievable.
Mike Knoll, been in the business a long time. Obviously stems from Roger Knoll, who's well known in the industry, especially the St. Louis area. The assistants under Mike, Jimmy and Zach, they do a fantastic job. It's a really special place, and honestly, it's filled with a lot of tradition as well.
It really is. And not to be disrespectful to Mike, but he probably wouldn't take offense to this. He's kind of a guy that likes to play in the dirt. He likes to get his hands dirty. He's there with the guys, whether it's in a bunker, taking down trees. He supervises every single thing, and that can't be easy on a property. Brandon, do you know roughly how many acres we have here? I think we have somewhere around 400 acres up here at Norwood, and it's a hell of a task to try to keep all this stuff going.
Probably the biggest property in town, and Mike's staff, and probably even understaffed, does such a tremendous job.
Brandon, let's talk about the Ascension Charity Classic. Again, will be held at Norwood Hills Country Club. When do you have to shut down the West, and when do you maybe do different things with where you hit balls, how you set up the course, all those things? When does that start happening? How soon before the Ascension Charity Classic?
Absolutely. So the tour, they've already come in and met with Mike, talked about the course, but you'll really see mid-August is when things will start to change. They'll start setting up the grandstands and the cabanas. Honestly, our members will play right up to Labor Day. So the East and West will be open that weekend.
And the tournament is only 2 weeks or something like that right afterwards.
Right. On Labor Day, we'll actually have the Monday qualifier here at Norwood, which is also rare to have the Monday qualifier at the championship course.
Absolutely. And what a tribute it is, guys, to you, Smitty, and to Mike, to really not shut the course down. Now, there's going to be operational stuff. They'll be building skyboxes and all that stuff. But the fact that he doesn't have to close the golf course tells you what kind of condition this course is 24/7.
About 2 weeks out, we will go cart path only, but that's understood by the membership and the guests that are coming out. It's just really neat to give them the opportunity to play right up until that date.
How about the volunteers, and do you get the membership involved with the tournament?
Dan, the membership is fantastic. It's well supported by the entire membership. Volunteers are needed, however. Our members do a great job, but if there's anyone out there interested in volunteering, you can definitely access that through the AscensionCharityClassic.com. Volunteer registration is open still, so I know the team's definitely looking for volunteers.
How about the volunteer, what they get, what they do? Describe that. If there's someone listening and they say, well, I'd love to volunteer, is it holding signs? Is it being by the ropes? What do you got?
I can jump in a little bit, Smitty. Sorry to talk all over you, but there's different areas. There's a caddy. I know my brother-in-law's brother took care of, Mike Twillman took care of the caddy. the caddies and the caddy registration came back with so many stories. It was really fun. There's also transportation department. There's locker rooms. There's driving ranges. Then there's whole locations. Smitty, there's guys out. I mean, the term "it takes a village" couldn't be more descriptive than it is for the membership and the volunteer force and your staff for that week.
There's so many moving parts, just like you said, Jay, from staging the carts for the pro-ams all week with the range balls will change. Those will have to be swapped out.
Smitty, sorry to interrupt you. One of the things that I was thinking about is that if I was a kid and I saw all those Pro Vs on the range, man, I would have stuffed Danny, I would have stuffed my bag full of those golf balls. So
you still do, by the way.
You get to walk out and practice with brand new Pro Vs. That never gets old for a tour event.
It's definitely an exciting time. So happy to be a part of it and really honored. And to have it here at Norwood Hills, one of the top courses in the area, if not the entire state. It's just tremendous.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy on this Sunday. You got all the members coming through, but we really appreciate it, and best of luck with the Ascension Charity Classic coming to town.
Guys, thanks a lot for having me.
Brandon, and thanks for all you do for golf and the club.
And for us.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, and we drive you a little crazy.
A lot of exciting things going on here at Norwood, so
absolutely
happy to be a part of it.
That's Brandon Smith, and Brandon is the Director of Golf here at Norwood Hills Country Club. This is Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Daugherty Business Solutions, and when we come back, we'll talk about the top players that will be participating at the Ascension Charity Classic.
That was the Front Nine, presented by the Ascension Charity Classic. Coming up, it's the Back Nine and more of golf with Jay Delsing.
The Legends of Golf return to St. Louis in 2023. You won't want to miss one of the strongest fields in golf. Ernie Els, Steve Stricker, Bernard Longer, John Daly, and many more when they compete for the 2023 Ascension Charity Classic title, September 5th through the 10th at historic Norwood Hills Country Club. All proceeds benefit area charities. Together, we were able to donate over $1 million to those most in need last year. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com.
The Gateway section of the PGA, led by Allie Wells, is the center of golf for us here in St. Louis. With over 350 men and women in the organization, you'll be hard-pressed to find a golf course, driving range, or practice facility where one of these men and women members are not present working tirelessly to enhance your golf experience. From PGA Reach, the charitable foundation arm of the section, which raises and donates millions of dollars to the needy in our community, to PGA Hope, that helps and supports our former military through the game of golf, to the PGA Junior League, which has turned out to be a game changer for creating opportunities and bringing more young players into the game. Our Gateway section remains committed to growing the game of golf. Again, at this year's Ascension Charity Classic, PGA Reach will be one of the benefactors of our Legends Charity Shootout, where half of the money raised will go to PGA Reach. The Gateway section of the PGA, helping us all enjoy the game we love.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make, and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
You all know by now that Marcone is a fantastic community steward. From donating service dogs for our wounded heroes in need to supporting our men and women first responders through the Backstoppers. This year at the 2023 Ascension Charity Classic, Marcone will once again sponsor the military viewing deck on the 18th hole at Norwood Hills. This is a specifically designed area for our military, police and fire, and first responders. Marcone will have complimentary food and beverage, as well as ample seating for our friends to watch some great PGA Tour champions golf from a perfect vantage point. And did I mention that entrance into the Ascension Charity Classic the entire week is complimentary? That's right, it's completely free for our men and women in the military, police and fire, and first responders. Reach out to us at AscensionCharityClassic.com or me at jay@jdelsinggolf.com for more information and tickets. It's Marcone, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is the Back Nine on Golf with Jay Delsing. The Back Nine is presented by Pro-Am Golf, located in Brentwood. See what Pro-Am Golf can do for you.
Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on and this Sunday, and we're coming to you from Norwood Hills Country Club, the site of this year's Ascension Charity Classic. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That is Jay Delsing. Again, our thanks to Brandon Smith, the director of golf at Norwood Hills. All right, I'm just going to simply throw out some big names that are coming to St. Louis, and whatever first comes to mind with these names, let it rip. All right, you ready?
You got it.
I'm going to start with one of our favorites, huge Cardinal fan. He gets some huge crowds that follow him, and that's John Daly.
John is a crowd favorite. Everywhere he goes, even if he doesn't play well, people love to watch him. I probably played 100 rounds of golf with him. When I think about him throwing out the first pitch, trying to throw it into the upper deck,
What's he doing?
He's doing it.
Whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants is what he's doing, and he's great for the game. I hope his health improves. I know it's okay now, but I hope he gets a little better.
He gave you some family advice on tour, didn't he?
So, Danny, I'm going through a divorce, and I'm playing with him down in Memphis, just down Highway 55, and I'm on the 12th green, and we're walking over to the 13th tee, and he said, "Yeah, man, I heard you're getting divorced. I'm sorry, it's hard to go through." And I said, "Yeah, it sucks, man. It's tough on all of us." And getting ready to hit our tee shots, and I said, "What do you pay in alimony each month?" And he goes, "Oh, man, hang on, let me think about it." And then he had to get up and hit. He hits his big duck hook. I'm sure he's like, "Great, Delsing, way to bring up the alimony while I'm hitting." And then I got up and I hit this little fluffy fade out to the right. So we were miles apart. So we walked about, our tee shots were miles apart. I walked about, 10 or 15 yards with him, and he's counting, he's like, there's Betty, and then there's been, and I see him again about 10 minutes later. We're up on the green, and I'm marking my ball, and he walks right by me, and he goes, "About 75," and he walks on, and my head snaps over to the side.
Not 7,500.
I said, 75 what? And he said, "About 75,000.
Oh, man.
And, I went, oh, man, my heart just sunk. And he goes, Yep. And then he had a pool. He lived right on the 16th fairway there, and had a pool with a big Arkansas Razorback,
sure,
because he's a huge Arkansas Razorback fan. And in his office, he had about 5 or 6 trash bags full of $100 bills.
Is that right?
He had been hot down at Tunica, he said.
Is that right?
Yeah. So you know what I love about this man? He just talks like it's, yeah, my shirt's black.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I hit the big duck hook. He just doesn't try to sugarcoat it. He doesn't try to hide it. He just wears it.
And he was one hell of a player.
Oh, Danny, so far ahead of his time. Distance-wise, with the great hands that he had. Man alive. I asked him one time, I said, "JD, that swing." He said, "Man, I grew up with my dad's clubs, and I was a little baby kid, and when I swung back to the top, they were so heavy I couldn't hold it anymore." So
interesting.
Whoop, it went all the way down to vertical.
Interesting. How about Bernard Langer? He'll be here. He's already set the all-time mark on the Champions Tour for wins, and wins the Senior U.S. Open. He'll be in St. Louis.
He's a machine. He's like a German machine, a well-oiled machine. I played golf with Danny. This is interesting. My brother's caddying for me down in the Honda Classic back in the middle 90s, and for some reason it was in the evening, and there was no one else out at the course. So my brother was with me, and I was working on some of these shots out of Bermuda rough because it's really, really difficult. And Bernard had already won the Masters. So he's super quiet, super respectful guy. And I played with him. Hell, the second tournament I ever played in, I got paired with him 3 times that day. So we have always been kind of friends. And he just kind of comes up behind me, and he's quiet, and he says, would you mind showing me how to hit that shot? I struggle hitting that shot.
Is that right?
And I went, "Me?"
Bernard Langer asking me?
I know. And my brother looks at me, and he's like, "Dude, are you sure you want my brother? You need to go down the list a little bit and find somebody else." But yeah, so I showed him how to hit that shot. He was so grateful, and he talked about it. And I'll never forget that because I was kind of shocked. I was looking around to make sure he was talking to me.
He's so smooth when you watch him, and that is Ernie Els. Can't wait to see him back in St. Louis.
The Big Easy. He's a great guy. I played with him when he first came over on the PGA Tour, and I could just tell this kid is going to be a star. He is a world-class athlete in a lot of different areas, Danny. When he was a kid, he was one of the best rugby and one of the best cricket players from South Africa. And Ernie has a son named Ben who has autism. And I got to tell you, Ernie and his wife, Liza, have raised millions and millions of dollars for autism in honor of their son. Just a great guy and a 4-time major champion and a terrific addition to our field.
You mentioned how great of an athlete he is. I ran into him at the Ascension Charity Classic. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I couldn't believe how big he is. He is a big, big man.
Danny, he's probably got a 42-inch waist, a 44-inch. He's not as tall as I am, but he weighs every bit of 240, 250 pounds. And that rhythm that he swings a golf club with is so amazing. People are blown away at how powerful, how much power that swing produces.
Because it's almost slow and it's so smooth, and you just see the ball jump off the club.
Oh, it jumps off the club. It reminds me a lot of Fred Couples, who's got that rhythm and that beautiful kind of quasi-pause at the top of his swing, and then at the bottom, man, that club comes in there fast.
I believe he is a brand ambassador for the Ascension Charity Classic, and that's Tom Lehman.
Yeah, Tom Lehman's a great guy. Tom, he's a major champion winner. He nearly won the U.S. Open I don't know how many times, and it's great to see, and his son is actually this week going to be playing into 3M under a sponsor exemption, his son Thomas. So yeah, Tom's a great guy. He's on the Ascension Charity Classic team, and a great addition to our field. I played so many rounds of golf with him, and it took him quite a while before he was able to get onto the PGA Tour, but he won the British Open, so he's an Open champion, which is the champion golfer of the year, which is one hell of a thing to be able to put on your mantle.
There's a name that fans know, and you love this guy, and that's Jerry Kelly.
Jerry Kelly's a great guy. He's a Midwesterner. He's from Wisconsin, and he's really a golfer. He's a hockey player trapped in a golfer's body. He loves hockey. He played a lot of it as growing up as a kid, and this guy is a competitor. Danny, he is a competitor, and he is out there playing every single week on the Champions Tour, and he's always in the top 5 on the money list every single year. He's one of those guys you could be standing right next to in the grocery store line and wouldn't know who he is. But he's a great family guy. He's been traveling the world and he's made over $25 million on the PGA Tour. He's ringing the register like crazy on the Champions Tour.
Well, we talked to Adam Long this last week, and he mentioned how important it is, in his opinion, to play other sports. And if you're a great athlete, you'll gravitate potentially to golf, but that really can help, not just specializing in golf, but like a guy like Jerry Kelly, growing up playing various sports. Adam played hockey, Jerry plays hockey, and how beneficial that can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And Danny, you're playing golf now and getting into play a little more, and you played baseball at a high levels. I mean, that hand-eye coordination, but as you know,
doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away, and it's such an intangible, and it makes a big difference. And when we talk about how many times do parents come up to us when you and I are sitting at Breadco or sitting at the Schnucks and grabbing something, and they say to us, what should I do with my son? What should I do with my daughter? And we tell them all the time, play more than one sport. If that's how they're designed and how they're made, play more than one sport.
One of the names that I know will rattle a lot of memories. He's a character. I'm going to see you push him over when he's trying to stretch and he's hitting balls, but Mr. Jimenez is coming to St. Louis.
Can't wait. This will be Miguel's first adventure here, and the guy, this is a great golf course for him. It would not surprise me at all if he doesn't.
Why is it a good course for him specifically?
Well, he's not super crazy long, but he's long enough. But he's a great iron player, Danny, and a great putter, and that's what you need to do. That's what you need to win around Norwood. You don't have to be exceptionally long. It doesn't hurt, but this guy he's in the mix every time he plays. He's a world-class player. His nickname is the Mechanic because he kind of looked like an auto mechanic when we first saw him. But man, he doesn't swing like an auto mechanic, and he's got a bank account unlike any auto mechanic I've ever known. He's just a world-class player, Ryder Cup star for the Euros, and it's great to see him in St. Louis. It'll be great to have him here in St. Louis this year.
So those are some of the biggest names that are coming to the Ascension Charity Classic. Could another huge name, maybe the biggest in golf, start playing on the Champions Tour not too far away. That could happen. We're talking about Tiger Woods. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Daugherty Business Solutions as we head to the 19th hole.
This has been the Back Nine, presented by Pro-Am Golf. We'll make the turn into the clubhouse and head into the 19th hole. That's next on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, Delsing here, and I've got some exciting news. My show, Golf with Jay Delsing, brought to you by Daugherty Business Solutions, is expanding to 2 hours in August. Listen every Sunday, starting in August, from 8 to 10 on Sunday mornings. That's Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our Back Nine Bar and Grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
I want to welcome Redbird Heating and Cooling to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. You can reach them at 314-320-9507 or on the website redbirdhvac.com. CEOs Jed Dickinson and Jerry Pearson run the area's most responsive and dedicated heating and cooling company that's been conscientiously supporting the St. Louis area for the last decade. Just last month, when my air conditioner stopped working, Jed and his team were at my home at 7 a.m. to replace one unit and then repair the other. Your money, like it's our money, was Jed's statement to me, and the repairs for Unit 2 was less than $200. If you want to work with a family-owned business that you can trust, then call 314-320-9507 or visit them at redbirdhvac.com. That's redbirdhvac.com.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions, the title sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show, has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We also roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year before graduating from high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year as a high school senior. That's when they begin training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes talent is equally distributed, but access to the opportunity is not. So here is Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. That's Daugherty Business Solutions, changing our community for the better.
Hi, this is Nick Ragone from the Ascension Charity Classic, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and let's head to the 19th hole.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. We move to the 19th hole. We're presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Could there be a time when we see Tiger Woods on the Champions Tour? Nick Ragone runs the Ascension Charity Classic.
He saw my shirt at the Ascension Charity Classic. Is that your event? I said, yep. It was where? St. Louis. He asked me where it was played. I said at Norwood Hills. He said 2018 at Belle Reve was the single best experience he ever had in a professional event. He said, I love playing in St. Louis. And then here's what's amazing. He said to me, what time of year is your event? I said, second week of September, right after Labor Day. He goes, oh, that's wonderful. And I said, why? He goes, my allergies won't be a problem then. They're really bad in August. And I'm thinking, who thinks like that?
Yeah.
And so jokingly, I said, well, I'll have your cart ready in 3 years. And he immediately said, 2.2 years. He knew exactly when. And he goes, absolutely have my cart ready. And so I was giggling and I said, oh, I got a commitment from Tiger. About 30 minutes later during dinner, apropos nothing, in front of this crowd, in front of Rory and Jay, he looked around and goes, where's my friend in St. Louis? And he pointed at me. He goes, I said, have my cart ready, have my cart ready. And so at that point, I stood up and I said in front of everybody's witnessing it. I'm looking at Rory and Jay Monahan. I'm like, all right, Tiger is committing.
Yeah.
And if you've seen since then, this was in November, multiple times at his press conference at the Hero, at the Genesis press conference, he said, I can't wait to get in a buggy and play with Freddie. 3 times he has said now. So I know he had surgery to fuse his right ankle for arthritis. I'm sure he is going to play a fairly regular schedule on the Champions Tour. He could still hit it. If you saw him at the Masters, he still gets ball speed up to 180. He just can't walk. So put him in a cart. He's going to want to be competitive. I don't know how much more golf he's going to play on the big tour. He might not. We might have seen the last of him. I'm not sure he could walk anymore, but I'm convinced he'll be out there, and I'm convinced he'll be playing in the Charity Classic.
That's Nick Ragone. And Jay, could you imagine what Tiger would mean to the tour, what it would be like in St. Louis? As Nick said, he loved playing at Belle Reve. He loved the tournament. But if you could get him on the Champions Tour and you get to use a cart, that is all the difference in the world potentially to seeing him play more.
What would he shoot around Norwood Hills?
Ooh, what do you think?
I don't.
So 10 under has been the
Yep.
champions
Yep.
here at the Ascension Charity Classic.
Right.
He still hits it a mile. He still is able to make cuts on the PGA Tour, even it seems like on one leg.
In major championships.
Yeah,
which
did
is
it at the Masters.
Yep. I mean, Danny, I don't know. I'm saying anywhere between 8 if he has a bad week and 18.
Who moves the needle more in golf still than Tiger Woods? I'm
No.
not sure there is anybody.
He is the needle. Like Roger Maltby said to us, he is the needle. And there's John Daly has a big impact. Phil Mickelson has a reasonable impact, although that's questionable in the last little while. But it's Tiger, and it's Tiger only. And I mean, we're looking for someone to kind of jump in and take on some of this mantle. But I mean, look at what he's assuming to try to be in Tiger's shoes. It's impossible to fill, D.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. I mean, you had a little run there by Dustin Johnson. You've had Spieth. You've had JT. Guys that people gravitate towards. They like watching them play. They're good personalities. But the consistency that he had for so long and the way that he changed the game of golf, they had to change the courses. I mean, they had to change everything about it. They were talking about changing the equipment. I just don't see another person, as he said, it wasn't hello United States when he made his debut. It was hello world.
Danny, Rory McIlroy, I should have mentioned him in there because he is the heir apparent. But I mean,
he hasn't won a major in 10 years.
He doesn't win like Tiger does. He doesn't win at the same percentage. He doesn't win enough. And so that's and look, I'm not saying it's easy, and that is not saying anything disparaging about Rory McIlroy, but he's not Tiger Woods.
No.
And it's Danny, when I look back and I think if someone said to me, coolest moments you've ever been a part of or seen on TV or whatever in the golf world, I got to put that shot he hit at 16 at Augusta from the left almost in the water and hits it up the hill, rolls down the hill, stops on the lip, flashes the Nike logo and falls in the hole. I've never seen anything like it. It looked fake. It was so perfect.
If you're the marketing executive for Nike, you are high-fiving, you're partying, you're saying, we could not plan this any better. This is the greatest shot we've ever seen in golf.
How many times has that been replayed?
Oh, everywhere.
And it's a Nike ad all over again.
Every year at the Masters, when they talk about the greatest shots in golf, that might be number one. Might be.
I mean, and the thing that is so cool about it is that he walked us through it. I mean, he walked up on the green. You could see what he was trying to do. He knew he couldn't go directly at the hole. He's going to play it up the hill, spin it a little bit to slow it down. I mean, what? I mean, come on. Just if you think about the theater, let's just talk about golf, not the extracurricular stuff off the course as well, but just the theater that he's brought to the golf course and the way that he's won. How about at Valhalla when he beat Bobby May? He hits his drive, Denny, and I'm an exaggerator. at least 50 yards offline on 18 and still makes a par.
Exactly.
If that's you and I, we're still looking for that golf ball. Hell, they still might be looking for you and I. We might have got our person lost out there because it was so far off the grid.
Well, we're coming to you from Norwood Hills Country Club, and you made me think of something. As you know, Jay, I'm all over the course. You're a ball hawk from your days of being a caddy.
I'm a ball hawker.
You know every nook and cranny of this course, man.
After year one, Danny, and as I embarrassed myself to a new high or a new low, however you want to look at it, I know every single part of this.
You really
course.
do.
I really do. I mean, when you hit a ball over there, I try to never lose a ball for whether you're playing in my foursome with me in a pro-am or when it's just you and I. You're like, let's go. I'm like, I can find this ball. I saw it. Went right in here. Most of the time we do.
You hit two of the best shots I've ever seen. So on the West Course, for those that know this, you pushed on number 9 all the way over to 11. You were on that tee box. You're in jail.
No, on 10. On
10, excuse me.
Yeah.
And you're on number 10 tee box. You put one over the trees. You hook it more than a banana. It looked like it took a 90-degree turn and winds up being about 3 feet. Then the other one that was amazing was on 18, under about 210 maybe away from the stick, and you put one under the trees. You had to go right, and that made basically like a banana 90-degree turn. It is amazing watching you play, watching these guys play. You're never out of a hole because of the shots that you've created over the years and been able to make yourself viable on these holes.
But because I've hit them there before too, you got to figure out a way to get out, you know. But it is fun. It's been a thrill just to get to hang out with you and get to play more golf with you and work on our games together and then to do the show together. It's been awesome. But when you get out and play in the game, you just don't ever know. I think what's so cool about this game, Danny, is that you never know what you're going to get that day. You feel great on the range. You go out on the course and you stink it up. You're over in the range. You're slapping balls all over the place. You go to the first hole and it turns into a stripe show. We've seen it all happen, and we've had a lot of fun, and it's going to be great to have the tournament out here.
You're the only guy I've ever seen or heard that puts one in those spots. Most guys are, there's some select words that are going on. Maybe they slam a club, and you're the only, I mean this sincerely, you're the only guy I've ever heard say, oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah. I can't wait for this shot. This is going to be fun.
That's the way I try to look at it, and it is kind of fun to kind of go in there. There's a lot. Thank God we don't have an extra hour of a show, or else I could tell you about that. But it's you got to look at it that way. Plus, you get those challenges, and sometimes you get certain shots, Danny, with trees around you and stuff that actually help frame a shot and help you, dictate how to hit it.
Well, that's one of the things you've told me. You can pound all the balls you want, and that's fine. You go on the range, you're trying to perfect a swing that's going to be imperfection, as we all know. But the best way to practice, get on the course, get those nasty lies, get under trees, do those things that you're going to have to do if you're playing 18 holes of golf.
Oh, hell yeah. Get in a bunker. Get around the green and try to figure out how you're going to chip this thing close when the flag stick's close to you and you got that ball sitting way down. I mean, you can't duplicate those things. Danny, I got the best advice from the late, great Payne Stewart, and I'll never forget it. We started playing a lot of practice rounds together, and he said to me, Dels, you have got to hit – you've got to work the greens out around the greens. You've got to, because we never have those sort of places to duplicate the kind of lies that you're going to get. And if you're going to want to try to get one up and down to win a tournament, you want to have practiced it before.
Bingo.
I know. And
that's simple.
I know. So, Danny, we would go out there, and I counted the first hole that I played with Payne Stewart. He hit like 37 chips and pitches on that hole.
Is that right? Just in the practice round, just messing around, getting the feel.
Yeah, didn't get out there doing a bunch. He was working out those greens, and he knew what their, flag stick's going to be back left, flag stick's going to be front right, flag stick's going to be over this bunker. What if I hit it over? And he just was wearing it out. So like a sponge, I just started doing that. All my practice rounds after that were just like that.
We should tell our fans, you were talking about an extra hour. We're going to add an extra hour to Golf with Jay Delsing, and that's coming in early August. Looking forward to that.
Oh, my gosh. Couldn't be more excited about it. We're going to, our first 2-hour show is going to be August 6th. And, we're going to keep the format. We're going to add to it, obviously. We've got great support from the community. Like St. Louis
does. Need that, yep.
Like they do. And so, ESPN came to us, and I looked at you, and we were like, let's do it. So I'm really excited. We're going to, if this puts you to sleep, then we're going to put you in a coma.
We got about a minute to go. Last week, the British Open, Brian Harman, you talk about being steady. Bunkers found. He had a total of 3, Jay, and he went 13 for 14 from 5 or 10 feet on the green. You do that, you're going to win.
And who picked him to win?
That'd be me.
You picked him to win. That was a great pick. He went off at 12,000 to 1.
Maybe even more than that.
Something like that. I mean, one of the long shots of all time to win at the British Open. I don't think the longest, but if you check out our podcast, we drop it on Wednesdays. It's called Beyond the Fairways with an S. We have a pick segment in there. And the reason we don't have a pick segment in here is because we're on Sunday mornings. But folks, if you like to throw a nickel or two at the PGA Tour, we are on fire.
Beyond the Fairways with an S. That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and this has been Golf with Jay Delsing. And Jay, our thanks also to Brandon Smith. Great to visit with him, and I cannot wait for the Ascension Charity Classic.
Danny, it was absolutely our gain to get Brandon from Old Warson, and now he's our director of golf. He fits right in. He works his tail off. He surrounded himself with a bunch of great people, and we couldn't be happier.
Jay Bird, how do we end the show?
Hit him straight, St. Louis. Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing, and we golfers are always looking for ways to improve our games. For me, that means I want the very best and the very latest in equipment and in technology. The place for me is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened Pro-Am Golf Center in 1975, and ever since then, he and his family have provided St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and the latest in the ever-changing world of golf technology. Whether you are a scratch golfer looking to find the latest in rangefinders or a newcomer looking to find your first set of clubs, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. You say you're looking to get yourself custom fitted for a new set of clubs? You need to call TJ. He has fit me personally, and he is the best in town. If you mention my name, CJ will take 50% off the already low fitting price. So if you need anything from golf balls to a new pair of shoes or a lesson from Tom, who, by the way, has been helping St. Louisans play better golf for over 45 years, Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood is the place for you. You can also visit them at proamusa.com. That's Pro-Am Golf.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient? It's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
Redbird Heating and Cooling sponsors the Veterans Vocational Apprenticeship Program. Jed, the CEO and former Marine, will teach, mentor, and sign off on educational and mechanical work hours to help you get fully licensed while you work and get paid by the company. What a great way to launch your career as a fully licensed HVAC specialist. Visit redbirdhvac.com. That's Redbird Heating and Cooling. Darty Business Solutions, the title sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show, has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We also roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year before graduating from high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year as a high school senior. That's when they begin training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes talent is equally distributed, but access to the opportunity is not. So here is Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. That's Daugherty Business Solutions, changing our community for the better.